Today, we are diving into something huge. A massive, and I mean massive, ongoing cyber attack that's targeting the entire crypto world. It's happening through the very code that powers millions of websites, and some are calling it the largest supply chain attack in history. We're going to break down exactly how it works, and more importantly, what you need to know to stay safe. So this is the big question, right? The one at the heart of all of this. Because when attackers are this sophisticated and the malware is this well hidden, the potential for loss becomes very, very real. And look, this isn't just some theory or a far-off threat. Security experts and major players in the industry are sounding the alarm, loud and clear. They're telling anyone involved in crypto to be on high alert. So what in the world is actually going on? Let's start with the big picture here. This isn't just an attack on one person or one website. Nope. Hackers have figured out how to compromise the absolute foundational building blocks of the internet, the very code that countless crypto projects are built on. And the scale, it's just mind-boggling. This quote comes directly from Ledger's chief technology officer, Charles Guillemette. When he says the entire JavaScript ecosystem, he's talking about the programming language that runs, well, a huge chunk of the modern web as we know it. So to really get a handle on the magnitude of this, we have to look at the numbers. And honestly, the reach of these compromised software packages is almost hard to wrap your head around. 1 billion with a B. Just let that sink in. That is how many times the affected code gets downloaded every single week. So you see, this isn't some obscure bit of software, it's a fundamental part of our digital lives. So how on earth did hackers get inside something so vital? Well, to get that, you need to understand something called NPM. The best way to think about it is like an app store, but for developers. It's this giant central library where they grab pre-written code to build their projects. It's super efficient, but as we're seeing, it can also be a massive single point of failure. And here's what makes this so incredibly dangerous. The malware wasn't planted in some big, obvious application. It was injected into these tiny, fundamental utility packages. Think of it like a single common type of screw that's used in thousands of different buildings. If that one little screw is bad, the integrity of every single one of those buildings is suddenly at risk. Okay, so we know this malicious code is everywhere, but how does it actually turn into a heist? What does it do to steal your cryptocurrency? The weapon of choice here is a nasty little thing called a crypto clipper. It's a very specialized piece of malware. It has one job and one job only: to intercept your crypto transaction and secretly, silently, change the destination address to the hacker's wallet. It's a digital pickpocket, plain and simple. So picture this. You're on an infected site, you go to make a trade, and you click a button like swap or send. In that instant, behind the scenes, the Clipper malware switches the real wallet address with the attacker's. The final piece of the puzzle is you, hitting approve, completely unaware that you're about to send your funds to a thief. And this is the absolutely crucial point. The malware can't just drain your wallet on its own. It can't. It's a trick, a con game. It relies on changing what you see on your screen to fool you into authorizing a transaction you never meant to make. Your click, that's the final key that unlocks your funds for them. Now, for a hack this sophisticated and widespread, you might be imagining some complex, high-tech break-in. But the reality? It's so much simpler. And it all started with a good old-fashioned scam. This right here, this is the bait. It's the text from a phishing email sent to the software developers who maintain these code packages. It creates this false sense of urgency, pretending their account is about to be deleted, and it tricks them into clicking the link to fix a problem that doesn't even exist. It's a classic 3-step playbook, really. The email leads the developer to a fake login page. They panic, they enter their username and password, and just like that, they've handed the keys to the kingdom over to the attackers. Once inside, the hackers just push out their updates, which of course contain the crypto clipper malware that gets sent out to billions of users. Okay, so that's the threat. It's widespread, it's sneaky, and it's pretty scary. The most important question is, what can we actually do about it? How do you protect your assets in the face of all this? This is a critical distinction to understand. If you're using a software wallet on your computer, the malware can change the address you see right there on your monitor, and you might never notice. But a hardware wallet is different. It has its own separate, trusted screen. It shows you the true, actual destination address, letting you physically see the mismatch and catch the swap before you approve it on the device itself. So, here are the key takeaways from security experts on how to stay safe. First, the safest bet is to just pause any crypto transactions on websites for a little while until this whole mess is cleaned up. Developers are already scrambling to lock their projects to older, safe versions of these libraries. And most importantly, if you have a hardware wallet, always, and I mean always, double check the address on the device's physical screen before you press that confirm button. And that really brings us to our final thought. This entire attack highlights a pretty fragile reality of our digital world. So much of the internet is built on open source code, and the trust we place in a relatively small number of developers. When that trust is broken, even in one tiny link in the chain, the ripple effects can be absolutely enormous, forcing all of us to ask, how do we secure a foundation that we all depend on?